The gray piece is an instrument tray for mounting instruments behind the panel. Initially, when I built and designed this aluminum instrument panel, I had planned to use number 40 rivets that were dimpled there, but when I pulled this apart the other day, I realized that that would make the panel non-removable, and I want this panel to be completely removable. So around the outside edge of the panel, I have holes drilled and then nut plates and brackets installed on the hood for it to screw onto, and then down at the base there's a couple holes that screw into the base where the rudder pedal control adjustment is, and it fits really nice. But if I put rivets in those 3 holes, I'd have to drill those out every time. And so as I pulled it apart, I went ahead and pulled the tray and then installed nut plates on that so that I can remove, basically I think it's 12 bolts. And when I remove those, that whole tray will slide, the whole panel will slide out, leaving this tray mounted in behind, and give me the ability to pull that panel without having to drill. So that was a minor adjustment I made on the fly the other day. So now we'll start moving forward with installation of the panel, make sure fitment is good, and then cutting and installing instruments. Working on the installation of the instrument panel hood. It has been modified for a custom-made aluminum panel. The kit comes with a plastic short panel that I've decided not to use. I modified this hood to sit forward a little bit of where it used to be, to bring that panel forward enough to make the connection. The hood was drilled and prepped, edges were cleaned, notches were cut for the mounting brackets for the nose cone so that it sits nice and flush. Got everything done, prepped, holes are deburred. Then I painted the inside of the panel a blue color to match all of the controls that are inside the aircraft. And then on the outside, I looked at putting like a coating or like a leather or something on top of it. Decided to go with a spray-on black, like the bed liner for trucks. I think I like the way it turned out. It looks really good. It should be pretty robust and survive. So once the panel's riveted into place, the next step will be to start mounting the mounting plates. These are all temporarily held in place with non-lock nuts for now, just to kind of get everything fit. As I put the instrument panels in, pull them out, drill holes, and put them back in, they'll be permanently installed with lock nuts to make sure everything works. With the instrument panel in place, I went ahead and started running the control cables for all of the instruments and connecting those to the Advanced Flight Systems Advanced Control Module up here in the front. I've covered up all the non-used ports with some tape, just as I've done any grinding or anything. I just didn't want any metal shavings to get down in those ports. So the basic connections on the HDX 800. We have 2 Skyview ports. One goes from the Adahars unit into the Skyview port because that cable was too short to go from the Adahars unit directly to the ACM. So it goes from the Adahars unit into the back of the HDX screen, and then that's the white cord on top, the white cord on the bottom down here that comes from the HDX goes to the Skyview port, Skyview network port over here on the ACM. Then from the comm radio up there, there's a Skyview cord that runs down and then connects into the Skyview port on the ACM. And then the last the Skyview network cable right here out of the ACM is this longer Skyview network cable, which will run to the back of the aircraft, and that will connect with a splitter to the remote magnetometer in the wing, and then the engine monitoring unit that's in the back of the aircraft. So that is there. I have one Skyview network port open on the ACM, but I don't know that I'm going to actually need to use that. Then I connected the multifunction display cable to the back of the Skyview HDX 800, and that runs and connects to the ACM. There's also a data port that is used for updating software as well as maps and other things, so I put that port right back there, and that is a USB cable that runs up and then connects into the back of the Skyview HDX 800 in the USB port. The other USB port, I have the Wi-Fi adapter. The Wi-Fi adapter will then feed information on heading and other information, airspeed, directly to an iPad or other device with that Wi-Fi adapter. And that will allow my iPad to receive direct information from the Skyview system. The Skyview backup battery is here. I don't have it connected yet, but the cable is here and overlapped so that it will go. And then it also connects into the ACM. So all of those connections have been made. The intercom, which is that box right there that comes in midway down the panel, is also connected to the ACM. And then the intercom harness also includes the headset plugins. Those right now are coiled up, and I'll run those along the left-hand side of the airframe as you sit in the aircraft to the proper locations for the headset plugins. The communications module is mounted underneath the top side of the plate, and that is also connected, so there's a cable that runs from there to the ACM. The other cable then runs up, wrap it around that tube, and it runs back up to the back of the comm module on the panel. The ELT is mounted on the panel up front, and it goes to the ELT box, which is riveted right there. The connection for that to the ELT box will run down the left-hand side of the airplane as you're sitting in the airplane looking forward, and it's in place and ready to go. The Adahars unit is mounted here on the tray with the Skyview network cable connecting to the HDX 800 Skyview port, making connections for the Adahars unit for the pitot static system. So green is the pitot tube, white is the static system, and then blue on the far left-hand side, which is not there yet, will be the angle of attack indicator. With the analog gauge, I needed to be able to plug into the system and split the input. So I've just used 1/4-inch tubing that runs from the back of the system. The bottom one is the pitot, the top one is the static. Have that marked on the tube with some green electrical tape to indicate the pitot system so they're connected correctly. To do that, I used the splitter that came with the Dynon installation kit. So the splitter on the bottom is for the static system, and I'll basically just have a clamp that connects the analog to the stub that comes out of the push lock fittings. The static system will connect this way, and then from the pitot tube, which is going to be in the nose cone, it will connect to this box, this splitter right there. Use an Adel clamp to give me the radius on the bend for the pitot or the static system, which runs down the right-hand side of the airplane. Went ahead and glued on a rubber molding around the outside edge just as a trim piece. Sorry, the lights get the background light, but the trim piece is in place. If there's any other instruments like a analog altimeter I want to put in, I can do that on that left-hand side as well, over there by the airspeed indicator.